My dad started potato farming, and then 30 years ago when apples started coming into the area, he started filling the corners of his fields with the orchards for apples and cherries. My uncles were doing the same thing on their individual farms. And then come about 15 years ago, we realized we needed to diversify in order to support some of those other existing farming operations. And so that's when we started into the dairy and then eventually into beef. So at this point, my dad, he doesn't really have a passion necessarily for cattle, but he knew that in order to keep a thriving operation on the potatoes and the orchards, he needed manure, and we needed the different options that growing the cover crops for cattle would offer the farming operation. We started looking into this worm farm concept with Biofiltro about 8 years ago, and understanding how we can utilize the worms and the retired apple trees to filter our water. Manure, before it's compost, is either liquid or solid manure. And that's really where the worms come in, is helping us to take that green water, which isn't a favorable, I mean, it's good for fertilizer, it's good for the fields, but to get it to the field is way too expensive, way too difficult. So we're able to then utilize the worm farm and the worm beds, which allow us to clean that green water out, make it clean, reuse it, and then irrigate with it. And then we're left with incredible soil amendments from the worm poop and the worm castings that we're able to get back to our soil and work into this closed loop system that we're working towards. Those wood chips have now been upcycled through a worm. They've been saturated in the really nutrient-rich green water, and we're able to harvest those annually, work them into a co-composting process, and incorporate those back into the orchards or back into the potato fields so that we can grow more crops with less inputs. Livestock operators these days have a very specific individual management program for each of their animals. So ours looks like an EID tag in their ear from the time they're born. And that EID tag, that electronic ear chip, will have all the information from their maternal and paternal genetics, and then it'll continue to take that information with any life event, where they're living, what they're eating, and put that into that electronic ear chip. So what we've done is we've taken all that data, along with the data we'll collect during the processing of those beef animals, and we compile it, put it on a platform so that the consumer can have complete traceability and transparency into the meat that they might be eating. We really treat AgWest as almost our CFO in a lot of ways in helping us run our company. Understanding our businesses and everything that keeps us up every night is very much their business also, and that's their focus, which is not the case with just any lender. I love working with family. I love being able to raise my kids right next door to my job. I love working with animals. I love working with nature, and being able to really be a part of God's creation to sustain life on this earth every day is a great privilege and opportunity that I'm a part of.